Okay, hi guys, dinokang again. Okay, and today, as you guys know, I will be reviewing the PRUVIT products. Basically, they have quite a few products, but I'll be reviewing mainly this one. Okay, this one is like their main bestseller or something, but their main product lah. So as far as I can see, like what this company does is that they're selling consumable ketones. So they call it exogenous ketones, which is basically consumable ketones. Okay, so how this all started, basically, like it started with me posting this Instagram story on how PRUVIT doesn't burn fat. So that remains true. PRUVIT, this sachet of ketones, doesn't burn fat. Okay, if anything, so later I'll share and break down the science behind this as to why it doesn't burn fat. Like, dude, ketones give you energy. Okay, they are an energy source. They don't burn fat. Okay, I'll make it as simple as possible for you guys, but let me just share some drama regarding this. So after I shared this story, okay, so a couple of the PRUVIT defenders immediately jumped to the defense of this product to say things like that. Okay, take a look. Yeah, so this was what I posted, and then this Charlotte Q went to comment, okay, to those who might be ignorant and thinks he knows better than the researchers and saying the researchers are doing nonsense, show some respect and really get educated. Okay, so we'll cover the respect and the educated part later. Putting other businesses down to support your own beliefs is just sad. I don't talk crap about how misunderstood many fitness instructors really are about nutrition, but don't discredit the hundreds of thousands of real life experiences in the market. Number one, it's not my beliefs. Fitness isn't a belief. Exercise for health isn't a belief. Religion is a belief. Exercise, training is not a belief. What are you talking about? Okay, next, look at this. So she posted another story. Okay, so basically I assume someone sent this story to her. So she needs to defend the product, right? Hi dear, please look at PRUVIT IG account and also download the PRUVIT TV app. Many doctors are on the panel of PRUVIT, including Dr. Ken Ford, who used to be the director of NASA. Let me just stop you right there. What has that got to do with anything? Yes, you may be the director of NASA, that makes you credible, but in what field? Is he a nutritionist? Is he a sports nutritionist? Is he a doctor? Is he a clinical doctor? Is he a fitness trainer? Is he someone who dabbles in fitness and research very often in the nutrition field? Is he? I'm not sure, but my point is, you telling people that, oh, Dr. Canford is the director of NASA has no value. It makes you look dumb. Why are you quoting these kind of things? Later, I'll talk about these kind of references to credible sources. Same thing, top athletes like Josh Perry, BMX champion. I'll talk about that as well. Cycling. Tori Wilson, WWE fighter, also drinks it. If you take one sip, you can also count as you drink it. If I take one sip and I'm a professional wrestler, I can also say that, oh, I drank it. Dude. Then she said, I find it so amusing to see that post, but hey, everyone have their own opinion. It's not an opinion, it's a fact. In his case, he doesn't have the resources to study to support his claims. I will cover the research and studies that this Silver Ang, and Charlotte are quoting. I will show you all the studies and I will tell you why they are absolutely wrong. And they have no idea what they're selling. No worries theory, blah blah blah. Yeah. So basically, she said that, oh, so this afternoon a follower sent me, after which the community was so amused. What is so funny about it? Is it very amusing? Who's the only one that found it amusing? Who's the only one that actually said it's amusing? I find it so amusing to see that post. Amusing. It's condescension, it is. Okay, next, look at this video. This was the one that got me tilt.
Okay. Jokes aside, I just want to say that everything works provided it is sustainable for you. I think PT is wonderful if, let's say, you are somebody who loves exercise and who likes having someone to, tell you what to do, what kind of exercises to do, and to really build up your strength and all of those things. But it is not for everyone. Like, I personally don't like it, so it is not sustainable for me because I won't go. Even like, I pay money and I'll drag myself to the session, so I don't like it. And from a business owner to another business owner, Dino, I don't know how you pronounce your name. If you're watching this, show some respect. You know, you're doing your own PT business. The MOFA people are doing their business. I'm doing my PRUVIT business. Everyone's running a business, right? And unless you really understand, so to not fully understand what we do or what any of the other businesses do, and to slam them without being properly educated first about those things, I don't think it's right or respectful. So it must work. All these products must work for people. Otherwise, these brands wouldn't have been around for so long. So just like PT wouldn't have been around for so long if it didn't work for people, right? So yeah, just something for your consideration if you're watching this. You know, be respectful and make sure before you slam anybody, do your homework, because it will just make you look very silly if you didn't. Ciao.
Okay, so basically that video is this Silver Ang. This lady, I assume she's one of the bigger distributor of PRUVIT in Singapore or Malaysia, I'm not sure. So before I posted that story, before these people started naming me, I actually have no idea who these cockroaches are selling, who these cockroaches are. So it's like, I don't know who was selling these kind of things. I just know that, they're out there. So I put a story to tell people, it doesn't burn fat. It does a couple of things, but it doesn't burn fat. So after posting that, the cockroaches come out to play. So this was what she said. This is what I quoted some of her points. Jokes aside, everything works, provided it is sustainable for you. Sounds good, doesn't work. You know why that's not true? Sustainable doesn't mean it works. Eating nasi lemak every single day is sustainable for me, but it doesn't work for fat loss. Eating trash every day is sustainable for me, but it doesn't work for fat loss. What are you talking about? Sustainable means it works. Okay, next. I was very tilted by the condensation of all this, but anyway, I think PT is wonderful for you if you are someone who loves exercise and likes someone to tell you what to do, but I personally don't like it. Number one, do you even know what PTs do? Obviously not. Okay, third point. Business owner to another business owner. Show some respect. First off, this has nothing to do with my PT business or my business or PT. That story I posted was purely about the product. Purely about the effects of the product and what you guys claim that it does. What you guys claim that it does. So it has nothing got to do with my PT, your PT, my exercise or whatever. It is purely talking about that product. It's not about my business, your business. Why the personal attack on PT? Just because I'm a PT, dude. Do you see me advertising my PT like that? Hey guys, don't buy this, don't buy this, sign up for my PT. Don't buy this, sign up for my PT. Did I even say that? Did I even imply that, hey, sign up for my PT? Dude, I have been doing this, I don't know, since 2019. I have been debunking and putting out information like that, factual information like that. It's about the product. Why are you making such a personal attack on me? Why? So, you are doing your business, MOFA people doing their business, PRUVIT doing their own business. Unless you truly understand, do not truly understand and to slam them without being properly educated in the first place, I don't think it's right or respectful. Number one, we'll talk about the education part later because you are wrong on so many things. Even recently, the story that you posted, you are wrong about so many things. I will tell you why it is so misrepresented. May not be your fault, but you were an a-hole for making it personal to me. You are being disrespectful to me. What has this got to do with my PT business? What has this got to do with my training at all? This has nothing got to do with me. This is just about the product. Why don't you find a better way to defend the product? Like, dude, you can't. I'll show you why. Okay, so next thing, you said this. The product, it must work because all these products must work for people. Otherwise, brands like this won't be around for so long. No. Just because it is famous, just because people have been doing it for a long time, just because the brand is big or a YouTuber is big, you know the few, okay, doesn't mean they're correct. Influencers having a lot of followers doesn't mean they're correct. So popular doesn't mean right. Dude, you are so flawed. Your perception, your perspective is so skewed. You don't realize what you are missing, and you don't realize how wrong you are about quite a few things, especially fat loss. Just like PT, no, you selling your little sachet has nothing to do with PT. Nothing like PT. And why are we even talking about PT in the first place? This has nothing got to do with PT. You are being disrespectful and making it personal to me. Be respectful. Do your homework. I did my homework. Have you done yours? We'll see about that. This really has nothing got to do with PT. I don't know why you decided to make it. And just because you have a pretty face, you have a nice body, and then you sound like you're very gentle, doesn't make you correct. Okay, by the way, just to tell you guys this. I used to sell MLM products. I was once a member of an MLM company as well. Okay, the company is called Premier Pure. Some of you in the 2013s may have heard of it. I was selling magnetic pillowcases. Every upstairs distributor seemed ultra successful. Like some young pretty lady, 30 years old, driving her new BMW, that kind. Ultra successful. So it's that appeal of an MLM structure that draws you into that belief. Exercising, wait, let me see. Okay, so remember this, what Charlotte said, right? Putting down other businesses to support your own beliefs is just sad. This is not a belief. Exercise is not a belief. Caloric deficit to lose weight, to lose fat is not a belief, you moron. It is not a belief. Religion is a belief. Your product is a belief. What you're selling is based on your belief. Your customers are buying based on their beliefs. Caloric deficit is a fact. It is not something you believe in or don't believe in. Okay, back, I digress. So it's that belief that, which is why I partly don't blame people like Silver and Charlotte to continue selling this, because maybe you really believe the product. But then again, I'm telling you why you are wrong. Okay, stay tuned for the research. Okay, so back to PRUVIT. PRUVIT, right? It is actually a giant corporation that sells ketones you can consume. Exogenous ketones. That's the special part. Okay, yeah, anyway, my MLM experience didn't end well. I'm just saying that I kind of know the distributorship, Yeah, just to share that fun fact about myself. Okay, yeah, so you could just be selling because you truly believe in it, just like the people from Susenji, the people from Renata. They could genuinely believe that, hey, the product really works. Look, it really works. That's why I'm selling. You feel like you're doing good. I get it. But I'm going to tell you why it really doesn't work. Okay, so basically the science of metabolism. Okay, metabolism 101. Basically, just by surviving, we will be using a combination of sugar and fat at the same time. It's just a different proportion of each. Okay, so let's say, our body basically stores energy in glycogen in the muscle and fat in the fat cells. Okay, so these two are energy sources, energy storage. So basically, when we need energy, generally the primary pathway is through glycogen. So glycogen is broken down into sugar. So the glucose gives you energy. That's the primary pathway. When that is insufficient, okay, then the fat pathway will be the one where you actually break down fat cells into ketone bodies. Then the ketone bodies are converted into energy. So like BHB, beta hydroxybutyrate, sounds familiar? Okay, so BHB is one of those ketone bodies. So basically it is the most abundant ketone bodies. Long story short, ketone is just an energy source. It's an alternative energy source. Sugar, glucose is the main energy source. When that is insufficient, you use ketones. That's pretty much it. Okay, ketone is like broken down fat and converted into the fat version of energy. Does that make sense? Okay, so like PRUVIT is very big on claiming that BHB, beta hydroxybutyrate, is actually the most efficient energy source. While that sounds very cool, and everybody thinks that you want to be efficient, actually you don't. You are not actually looking for efficiency in this case. Like, why would you need an efficient energy source? What do you mean by an efficient energy source? If you mean by you can last longer, you have energy for a longer period of time, yeah, maybe you will be correct, because BHB, basically the pathway is more for lower intensity exercise, endurance based performance. Okay, so actually, let's say number one, when we are talking about fat loss, there is no link. There is no link to efficiency or not. Okay, number two, we are not exactly looking for efficiency in the body, because let's say we are talking about body composition. We want to lose fat, gain muscle. Gain muscle means your training output, your training has to be good, your nutrition has to be good. So you are not looking for efficiency. If anything, you are looking for power. You want carbohydrates to fuel that. So I'll cover the research on this later. Why BHB, efficient energy source is not something you are looking for. That's my point, because they keep claiming efficient energy source. Ketones are the new efficient energy source. I'm just telling you that it's not as good as it sounds. It's just efficient. It means you can survive longer in hibernation. Doesn't make you perform better. I'll cover the research. Okay, so like I said, carbs and sugar are the primary pathway. When that is not available, the liver then breaks down fat into ketones to be used as a replacement alternative energy. Okay, so if you are ingesting the exogenous ketones, you will end up be using them as energy, because ketones have energy as well. There's a calorie count to that. Okay, they have calories, so your body will be using these calories of the ketones you're consuming instead of whatever is inside your body already. So your body doesn't burn what is inside, you are burning what you are eating, if it does work. So long story short, it is kind of a zero sum game, because let's say I eat 45 calories of ketone, I will then be using the 45 calories of the ketone I just consumed, instead of burning 45 calories of glycogen in my body. Like, dude, where's the benefit? Does it in fact put you in a state of ketosis? Maybe, maybe not. I cannot find the research that conclusively proves that exogenous ketones from this product puts you into a state of ketosis. Like a conclusive one, I cannot find. If there is one, maybe I missed it. Secondly, is there a specific benefit to being in a state of ketosis by this product? I cannot find. Next thing, is there a benefit in this state of ketosis for fat loss? The answer is no. It doesn't burn more calories. Caloric deficit, like I said, is the only way to lose fat. It is not a belief, you moron. It is not a belief. Deficit is a state. It is not a it's not a belief. Okay, it is what it is. A surplus is a surplus. A deficit is a deficit. It's not like I believe it can work. No, it is what it is. If you are in a deficit, it means that you are burning more than what you're eating. Yeah. Okay, so the analogy that I have for you guys of consuming ketones is basically, it is kind of like eating broken down fats that's converted into something else. Think of it as BCAA and protein. If I'm consuming chicken, versus I'm consuming BCAA. BCAA is the broken down version of protein. May have benefits for blah 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 recovery. No, it doesn't. It's the same shit. Okay, so it's same like you are eating fat, and then it gets broken down. It can get converted into ketone anyway. So you are still eating energy. Energy is coming in. There's an intake. So how can it burn fat? It doesn't. It doesn't burn fat. So Silver Ang, I put it to you like that. Very simple. Explain to me how this product burns fat. How this product burns fat. Don't send me a link to this study, a link to another study. You tell me how this product burns fat. Putting you into a state of ketosis, number one, not proven. Number two, in a state of ketosis doesn't mean you burn fat. You are burning fat in place of other glycogen, which means you may not be in a net deficit, which means it does not burn overall fat. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, prove it to me. You can't prove because there isn't a study that supports this as far as you can find. So I'm going to talk about the research in a bit. Basically, all the research, there isn't a research that I can find that conclusively proves this product can burn fat. This product alone can burn fat. I'll talk about the research methodology in a bit. Okay, next up, the research. Okay, so distributors like Silver Ang and Charlotte Q keep claiming that it's not a weight loss supplement. It is not a weight loss supplement. Yet, you keep using weight loss results of people who lost weight to push the product. Like, lol, the subtext is that the product caused the difference, which is untrue. So that is what I mean by it's a misrepresentation of the fact. And the fact here is that they lost weight, they look better because they were in a caloric deficit. So that is not a belief, that is the fact. How do you know that it is due to the product and not a deficit? You don't, and it is due to the deficit. And I'm going to talk about the next elephant in the room. Why doesn't anyone talk about calories? Anybody, none of the PRUVIT people are talking about calories. Like, dude, did you guys actually have a meeting to remind your distributors in Asia to hey, don't talk about calories, no matter what you say, don't use the word calories. I'm wondering whether there's actually such a meeting, because it's like you guys are dancing around that topic of calories, but yet you are trying to imply that it makes people lose weight, but at the same time you are claiming it is not a weight loss supplement. Which is it? Make up your mind. Here's what I think personally after browsing through their profiles on Instagram. So the product that's being pushed by them as not a weight loss supplement, but then weight loss is just a bonus effect on top of the many benefits of consuming ketones. That's basically where I think the stand is. Not a weight loss supplement, but weight loss is just a bonus effect on top of the many benefits. They keep pushing it like that, but they know full well that weight loss is the main motivator of many customers buying. Like, dude, how many people would actually buy this product because they want to improve their cognition? They want a more efficient energy source. They want to improve their memory. They want to improve their insulin sensitivity. I'm not saying there are no people who are buying this product because of this. I'm telling you, my opinion is this. I think that 80 to 90% of the people are buying this product because they want weight loss. Even though you're claiming it is not a weight loss supplement, but all the results, most of the results that you are pushing forward is, oh, this person lost from this size to this size, looks so much better, oh my god, life changing, one is fat, one is skinny. You keep pushing the product like that, you are advertising using the results. Obviously there's weight loss, but you keep saying it's not a weight loss supplement, oh, it's just a bonus effect. No, it was the caloric deficit. Okay, so like I mentioned, how many people actually want to buy it because of said conditions? Like, are you really trying to improve your cognition, etc? So if you do have said ailments, like, oh, my memory got problem, My memory got problem, my insulin got problem, my energy source got problem, if there's such a thing. Why not consult a doctor or get a legit opinion from a medical professional rather than a random salesperson who's trying to sell you products? As with the products I've covered before, Susenji Slimming Gel, Renata BB Plus, that slimming pill, there are risks to consuming what you don't understand. Okay, so let's talk very briefly about the weight loss results, because basically I've covered this before. I don't want to keep going through. Basically, every single weight loss result is the result of a deficit. It's just how they do it, how they portray it to the public, how they show you the certain results. Oh, the before and after. They will always say this, oh, no exercise, no dieting, no strict diet, no blah blah blah. So they are just telling you what you want to hear. But the fact of the matter is still this: they were in a caloric deficit. By hook or by crook. Maybe the product helped them stay in a deficit. Maybe because sometimes you skip a meal or whatever. Whatever the case, it keeps you in a deficit. That is why you lost the weight. That is why you lost the fat. There's nothing got to do with that product burning fat. There's a difference. Okay, so the weight loss results. What I want to really point out is this: understand the difference between correlation and causation. Okay, just because a whole bunch of people have lost weight while they were drinking this PRUVIT doesn't prove that this PRUVIT product caused the weight loss. Be very clear about that. Just because there's a correlation, meaning to say both things happen at the same time, or they happen to happen at the same time, doesn't mean one product caused the other. There are many other factors involved that confound those results. Okay, so basically, like I mentioned, other factors like moving more, maybe they're exercising more, maybe they're eating cleaner, but they are just not revealing that they're eating cleaner because they don't want to portray, oh, strict diet. Maybe they're not eating cleaner, they are just eating less. In terms of calories, I guarantee you they are eating less. That's the only way you get a caloric deficit, less in terms of calories. One way or another. Later I'll talk about one of the few strategies they employ to really push this. Okay, so long story short, caloric deficit is the one that caused the weight or fat loss. Silver Ang and Charlotte, feel free to refute that. Tell me that your product can induce fat loss without a caloric deficit. Then I will buy. Then, hell, I will even promote for you. Tell me that your product can burn fat without a caloric deficit. Because if the person is in a caloric deficit, they are going to burn fat either way, with or without the product. Then how do you know that the product is working? You don't. Okay, next, let's talk about Silver Ang's own result. So I think her result is pretty good. Like in 2 years, maybe I think 8 to 10 kg down. I think it's really good because it's over 2 years, right? It's not the weight drop that is good. It is that, over 2 years, you actually stuck to it and you are looking to lose weight over a long period of time. 2 years of losing weight is a long time. So, it's really good that she feels better and kind of kept the body fat, around a healthier range. So, it's like lower body fat. Okay? So, it is not the PRUVIT thing that caused the fat loss. It is the deficit. I cannot emphasize this enough. Silver Ang, can you tell me that you lost weight without a deficit? Can you tell me that? Because if you can tell me that, you are lying. Either you're lying or you are the one that's uneducated. How can you lose weight without a calorie deficit? You can't. So if calorie deficit is the one that make you lose weight, what did the product do? Maybe the product makes you feel better. Maybe the product, puts you in a state where you feel better and you don't eat as much. Then it puts you into a calorie deficit. Fine. But you can't claim that it burns fat because it really doesn't. In fact, it has calories. Ketones are a fuel source. They are an energy source. They give you energy. It has 45 calories. If you drink 10 of that, that's 450 calories. You are not going to lose weight if you keep drinking more and more and more and more of that. No, it doesn't work like that. Okay, so like I mentioned, the PRUVIT and ketones may have helped in other ways to help her maintain a deficit that caused the fat loss, because they help you put you in a deficit. Then again, where's the evidence of this particular product that you are selling working the way that you are claiming? Look at this. Remember Charlotte, she claimed this. She claimed this, oh, it burn fat, retain muscle. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. That one is lying. Okay, let's talk about the hard research. So this is going to get a little bit sciencey. Research papers, press release, everything on their official website. Here's the first one. Okay, the first one basically when I go to their website, right? Like I was just scrolling through lah. So they are very big on research. Research. I keep doing this because it is not actual research. It is not actual evidence of their product. It is other people's research, which have very little to do with their product. This is what I mean. Okay, so the official website is this. The first one I came across was this TED Talk. So you know TED Talks are very credible in themselves. So like I learned a lot of things from TED Talks. They are seen as a very, very, very credible source of information. Like if you make it to TED Talk, you are legit. But what TED Talk are we talking about? Is it a member of PRUVIT giving a talk about PRUVIT products on TED Talk? No. As far as I have watched, so I watched about halfway, I gave up. I gave up because as I watched through, this TED Talk is about keto diets helping seizures, helping people with seizures, epilepsy. Ketogenic diet helping seizures and epilepsy. These two have very little to do with the product you're selling. The product you're selling is exogenous ketones that put you into a state of ketosis, not a keto diet. So why are you using this TED Talk? Not a keto diet. And are all your customers having seizures? No, right? Then why are you putting this up? Just to look credible? Next. Yeah, so basically they have a lot of research. I'm not going through all of them because most of them are not even research papers. Understand these people. News articles like Amazon News, Yahoo News, whatever, Healthline, WebMD. These are not scientific papers. These are not scientific evidence. People can be fooled or misinformed into writing these. So even Straits Times, when they publish on the newspaper, it doesn't mean it is correct. It means they are somewhat credible. It doesn't mean they are correct. I said this, it doesn't mean they're correct. Just because someone on YouTube is popular doesn't mean they are correct. Someone in Singapore having a lot of followers saying something doesn't mean they are correct. This product selling millions and millions of dollars doesn't mean that it is effective or doesn't mean that it works. There's a difference. So I'll talk about why they can sell so much. Okay, first research paper, take a look. Okay, this is the first legit paper that I picked up because this is the one by NCBI. So NCBI, if you guys don't know, is one of the most reputed source for research journals, like legit papers. Okay, so the first one, this paper is basically the effects of BHB on cognition in memory impaired adults. Unless you have memory impairment, this paper does not apply to you. How many consumers that bought this product have cognitive impairment? Next paper, BHB, beta hydroxybutyrate or ketosis, enhances memory in mild cognitive impairment. Very similar. Same. If you don't have mild cognitive impairment, this paper is completely irrelevant. So these two legit research papers have nothing to do with people buying the product, nothing to do with the product they're selling. The third paper is this. Weight loss. So this one very interesting. Weight loss from having a keto diet. Okay. Then when I click on the link, look carefully. Long-term effects of a ketogenic diet in obese patients. So I took basically I looked for their methodology in like how they define obesity. So they took 83 patients, quite a good sample size, with BMI above 35. That is pretty well above obese. This is very obese. 35 BMI. It is how many people are considered obese who are buying this. So this only applies to obese people. This study only applies to obese people, and this one is not done by them. This is a paper on NCBI talking about ketogenic diets on obese people. What PRUVIT and these Silver Ang and Charlotte are selling, they are selling something that they don't claim as ketogenic diet. So this paper is not even relevant. Number two, this paper is talking about obese patient. So unless your client, the consumer, the buyer is very obese, this paper has no link. So let's say someone like me, normal fit, looking to lose maybe 3 to 5 kg. Or I'm an Asian lady looking to lose maybe 5 kg. I'm not obese. This paper has no link to me. The context is completely off. Next, this one I'm very interested in. Basically, I'll share with you. I'm the most interested in this one because I call bullshit. I call absolute bullshit on them claiming no impaired performance in ketosis. Silver Ang and Charlotte, are you sure you know this? Okay, never mind. Let's talk about this. Okay, I'm very excited about this one. So basically, this one is the paper where they are claiming ketosis doesn't affect performance. Then there's this very small print, not say small print, it's just subtly put there. No impaired endurance performance. So I clicked on the article naturally. Okay, so this one is not by NCBI, this one is by BMC, Biomed Central. So some article on ketogenic diets and physical performance. Before I opened this article, I knew the answer already. Because I've been through this so many times. Okay, so what this article is basically talking about is like whether it's trying to find out whether ketogenic diets, basically when you are on ketogenic diets, you're in ketosis, does it affect performance? Because there are many studies done on this. Okay, so I won't bore you with the details. Long story short, same look at the abstract. They are trying to say that impaired physical performance is a common but not obligate result of low carb diets, which means yes, they are trying to find out. Okay, so long story short, here's the conclusion of this article. I went to read through. Why they need to specify endurance performance is this: ketogenic diets, or when you're in ketosis, endurance is sustainable, means you can keep up the same level of performance when it comes to endurance. Why am I emphasizing so much of endurance? Why is this paper talking about endurance? Is endurance what you're interested in? When we are talking about physical performance, we are usually not talking about endurance when it comes to body composition. Body composition means like muscle and fat. Okay, to put it simply, muscle and fat. What I do, looking better with better muscle, looking better with lower fat, and so on. So when it comes to this, training is a very big factor to building muscle and maintaining muscle. And your performance in training is not endurance. We are talking about power. We are talking about, what's the word? High intensity. We are talking about high intensity. Endurance, by definition, is a lower intensity threshold. When we are talking about higher intensity exercises, keto doesn't hold up. Look at the same paper. Look at this conclusion. Therapeutic use of ketogenic diets should not require constraint of most forms of physical labor or recreational activity, with the one caveat that anaerobic performance is limited by the low muscle glycogen levels induced by a ketogenic diet, and this would strongly discourage its use under most conditions of competitive athletics. Translation: you are weaker when it comes to high intensity exercises. Cool. So translation and application for you guys. There is a significant drop in physical performance in the gym if you're on keto. That's the fact. Charlotte and Silver, did you know this? If you knew this and you're claiming that oh, there's no impairment on physical performance and you can maintain muscle, then you're lying to people or you're misinformed. Now I'm telling you the truth. Keto diets are not encouraged for athletes who are higher intensity. If you're in the gym and you're trying to go low carb and trying to go on true ketosis, dude, your energy would tank. I've tried this many times. I have clients who tried this many times. It is a tested and proven concept. And basically, the short science behind this is that the main pathway is glycogen. Your muscles cannot contract properly and maximally without glycogen. You need glycogen. Glycogen means from sugar, stored sugar in your muscles. You need carbohydrates to perform optimally. You cannot just say, oh, I eat ketones, I can maintain my performance because this study said so. This study said what I just said. It is only correct and applicable for endurance performance. So if you're talking about walking 200 km, yeah, sure, ketone holds up. If you're talking about sprinting, no. Terrible. When you are hitting the gym hard right before leg day and you have no carbs the day before, tell me how you feel. When was the last time you did leg day? That's my point. If you lift, when I make that little snarky remark on do you even lift, I'm talking about things like that. Things that you should know if you actually walk the talk and you know your product and you know what is in the product and you know what your product does. That is the big difference. I don't sell your product and I know better than you. Okay, so settled. This product, rather ketones and ketosis, do not help performance. In fact, your physical performance of higher intensity exercises like lifting weights is going to go to shit. Okay, next. Okay, so this is the 5th paper by Silver Ang and reposted by Charlotte. Okay, this one basically wasn't part of my list to talk about, but since they posted it, so I just wanted to basically point out that it makes them look a little bit sillier than they already do. So basically Silver Ang blocked me. She blocked me on Instagram. Then she started publishing all this some evidence to support the product. Look at this evidence. So basically this article on Google Scholar is on ketones being effective for treatment for epilepsy in children and helpful for Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, and other brain dysfunction. So, my point is, what's the point of posting this article? To appear sciencey? To appear like you know your science or appear credible? Number one, the ketones used in this, is it the same ketones that you guys are selling? I don't know. Number two, the study is not done by you guys. I'll cover that methodology later. Okay, so basically, you posting this just shows that you don't know what you're posting. So I went to stalk lah. So I saw people replying to, I think Charlotte, people replying to her, saying that, like, what's the link? So someone actually pointed out the same thing I'm pointing out to you guys. What's the link between this? Are your customers the same as those with Alzheimer's and Parkinson's and epilepsy? Keto diets are used as a treatment for these kind of things. Are you selling to people with Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, and epilepsy? If you are you a doctor? Like, dude, I have so many questions, right? Okay, next. Anyway, the sixth paper, the next research I want to talk about, I didn't even click the link because look, it is a blog spot. So you asked me to respect the researchers, yet the blog spot is what you refer to as research, official research on the official website. By the way, for if you didn't get that link, that reference, Blogspot is something everyone can write. I can write it. You wanna come and see my WordPress? It's not evidence, my god. Okay, so proof of a certain products, the product's fat loss effects, if any, would be like sustained fat loss without a caloric deficit. And there's so far zero proof of that. Zero. If I'm wrong, let me know. I would love to see the research, not the tons of nonsense research that you guys have been defending. Right? You don't know what you're defending. Okay, so next I'm going to talk about this 60-hour reboot. So this is one of the things that they are pushing to make sure your weight goes down. They call it 60-hour reboot. Reboot your system, like restart your system so everything refresh, like you restart as a baby. Like, restart. Okay, so this, I'll tell you why it's dumb. 60 hours, 2.5 days. 48 plus 12. Yeah, 2.5 days. So 2.5 days where you eat nothing. You eat zero food, only drink water and drink their freaking ketones. 2.5 days freaking ketones. So, oh my god, if it's not obvious enough, of course you're going to lose weight. Of course you're going to lose weight. You are going to be in such a huge caloric deficit. Let's say you have 3 sachets a day. I don't know what's the protocol. Let's say you have 3 sachets a day, breakfast, lunch, dinner. 45 calories each. That's 135 calories for the entire day. If my maintenance is 2,005, that puts me in a deficit of 2,400 every single day of a deficit. 2.5 days, I'm gonna lose 1 whole kg of pure body fat and muscle. I'm gonna talk about that. I'm gonna lose a ton of real weight together with a ton of water and glycogen. So, long story short, of course you're going to lose weight. 2.5 days. Someone like me, 83 kg, I'm going to lose 2 to 3 kg just by starving for the next 2.5 days. It's not a reboot. It is not a reboot. Call it what it is. It is called starvation with ketones. Like, if I starve for 60 hours, of course I'm going to lose 2 to 3 kgs easy. It's glycogen, water, fat, and most importantly, you are going to lose muscle, you moron. 2.5 days without protein. You will not have the energy to train. So you are missing on strength training, you are not having the protein, and you are just starving yourself. You need the protein, you need the strength training, you need the nutrients. Dude, this is dumb. This 60-hour reboot is not a reboot, it's starvation. It's starvation with ketones. Of course you're going to lose weight. You are going to lose muscle as well, you moron. You never want to lose muscle. I cannot emphasize it enough. Why are people buying these kind of things? Like buying into this kind of 60-hour reboot just because it sounds cool. It's ridiculous. Don't tell me the science of, starving. No, there's no argument that, you go 60 hours. It's a long time. 2.5 days without proper nutrients. No way that is healthy. If you're talking about half a day or 1 day, fine. You still have enough nutrients, minerals, vitamins to hold up for a little while. Even then, 1 whole day of starvation, it's not good for your muscles. It's very likely for you to lose muscle if you're not strength training. So then we talk about we need the nutrients. Starvation, and then you are saying, you feel so much better. You cannot eat so much food. You burn more fat. Of course you're burning fat. You're in such a huge caloric deficit. Like, then you say, actually I don't feel hungry after 2.5 days. I have starved in the jungle before. It is a natural process. If you are starving for 2.5 days, your stomach shrinks. You cannot eat a lot after 2.5 days. It is nothing to do with this stupid product. It has nothing to do with this ketones magical reboot. That, I don't feel hungry. Of course you don't feel hungry. You're adapting to the starvation. My god. Okay, moving on. That is just bodo. The 60-hour reboot is not a reboot. It's starvation with ketones. Okay, the main claim of this product is this. You consume this ketone product, right? Consume the ketones. That puts you into a state of ketosis. Assuming that is true. Okay, let's just assuming that is true. So the state of ketosis and ketogenic diets, right? So there are some benefits to that. So there are some things that are actually backed by science. It's not all bad. So basically the whole idea is this. Instead of running on glucose, the primary energy source, you run on ketones. So you run on ketones. Ketones is the alternative fuel. So there are a couple of benefits. to that. So Alzheimer's or the brain cognitive memory, basically how your brain functions lah. Right? How your brain functions. The fat does aid in some sense. So go and Google the whole bunch of benefits of ketogenic diets, but definitely not fat loss, because caloric deficit takes precedence. So I don't want to bore you with all the details or what is good about keto, what's bad about keto. Okay, you can actually watch my previous video on keto diets, and also watch my highlight reel if you like the textbook visual version of it, like a mini series. Okay, my point is this: there is a time and place for using keto diets as a treatment. Maybe a weight loss tool for the really obese people. I'll tell you why, because it's just swapping out their carbs and their trashy food. Caloric deficit is the king of fat loss. That is a fact. It is not my opinion. It is not my belief. It is the laws of thermodynamics. Okay, no one defies that. So, a ketogenic diet is actually used as a treatment. It can be used as a weight loss treatment for obese people. Can be a treatment for epilepsies and seizures, or like Alzheimer's, Parkinson's. You can help some parts of brain health. Okay, but my point is this: it is completely irrelevant to most buyers of this product. Like, we are talking about the ketogenic diet, by the way. We are not even talking about this product. So, where's the evidence of this product? Where's the evidence? As far as I've seen, I haven't seen any evidence. So, back to the research. They are quite smart, They are quite smart because they make this claim whereby the research is not accurate or complete or timely representation of their products that they are selling. Long story short, it's their disclaimer lah. Okay, so that line is their disclaimer that the research that they put on their website doesn't represent what they sell. Then here's my question: then why you put up the research? To look credible? Like, if you are putting research there, all your distributors like Silver Ang are saying, oh, there's so much research here. But then you research, you say, don't use this research to sell the product. This research doesn't represent the product. Then you put the research there for what? Then where's the research to back your own product? PRUVIT ketones. Like, I'll cover that in the bottom line. So, that's where I stand, whereby it is, in my opinion, it is borderline, what's the word? Borderline dishonest. But at the same time, there are benefits to taking that lah. So if that's the business, it is what it is lah. It is what it is. But from a health concern perspective, right? Ketones, there's a time and place for it. Okay, there are benefits to a ketogenic diet, not the product. There are benefits to a ketogenic diet, but some health concerns off the top of my head. Number one would be ketoacidosis. So ketoacidosis, as the name suggests, basically acidity from too much ketones. So it is basically a condition where your blood becomes a little bit more acidic because ketones are acidic. So the science of this is BHB, right? Beta hydroxybutyrate. It is basically an acid. It's a weak acid. But if you're having too much of that and it's in the blood, it does reduce the pH a little bit. So which means it makes it a little bit more acidic lah. Okay, that's the sciencey part. So usually it is not a problem, because when BHB levels rise, ketone levels rise, insulin usually regulates it back down. That's the very rough idea. Okay, so this becomes a concern for diabetics who may already have very poor insulin sensitivity and function, and insulin is the one that regulates the ketone levels. So when their ketones are higher, and diabetics usually have already elevated ketone levels, and you're eating more ketones, you're having more and more ketones, your blood could be more and more acidic. Okay, so you may have friends who may have diabetes. You may notice that they have a certain weird breath that smells a bit like nail polish remover. Okay, so I think the smell is from acetone, but basically it's the keto breath lah. It's the smell of the ketone. So that kind of proves that they are in a state of ketosis, so like elevated ketone bodies lah. So don't quote me on the science, I'm not a doctor, not a medical professional, but that's as far as I know about physiology regarding keto diets and health concerns. So I'm just saying that there could be health concerns if you are going full keto, or worse in my opinion, adding exogenous ketones, like you're eating more ketones than necessary. Like that becomes a concern because it is not as regulated as if your body produces a ketone. Like that's where I stand on it. Okay, so next back to Silver, Ang and Charlotte. It is not a belief. The science of calories in and calories out is not a belief. It is literally a state and a fact. So here's a question point blank to you. So does your product burn fat or not? Yes or no? Okay, getting to the end. How did they manage to sell so much? Some of you have been asking me actually. So that stupid Silver also saying, like, if a product can sell to so many people, must be good, must work, right?
It's right or respectful. So it must work. All these products must work for people. Otherwise, these brands wouldn't have been around for so long. So just like PT wouldn't have been around for...
No. Okay, so how did a product manage to sell so much? Excellent marketing and positioning. You are putting the product in a place and a position where people want it. You are creating the demand. So there are so many people looking to lose weight. So even though you claim it's not a weight loss supplement, so it looks healthier, by the way, so the product looks very credible because you start quoting NASA directors as, for whatever reason, and then people will buy. People will buy because they see it as, this one helps to lose weight. Doesn't matter whether you claim it's not a weight loss supplement or not. They see that, this person lose weight because they take the product. Okay, I buy. Whether or not it actually works, that is how they sell so much. Because if I believe something, I would buy it, whether or not it works. I told you, I used to sell magnetic pillowcases because I legit thought it worked. 2013, Premier Pure. I legit thought it worked. They showed me the whole catalog of the science of negative ions and positive ions and how the magnets push don't know what away. At that time, I thought that was legit, okay? So, we all make mistakes. I'm just saying that the science it can be highly misrepresented, and they MLM companies like that, where I came from, they are very good at brainwashing you to the point where you actually think that I'm doing good, I'm doing a lot of good, why are you bullying me? Okay, so how they can sell so much? Most people are dumb and they don't know what they're buying. Okay, don't get me wrong, I'm hopelessly dumb in a lot of stuff like art and literature and some cool high-tech shit. I'm hopelessly dumb in a lot of areas. I'm good at one or maybe two things. Okay, knowing about body composition and how to lose fat and gain muscle is one of them. That's why I'm a trainer. Okay, so to sell some products, you need some buzzwords, novelty shortcuts. It draws people like a moth to a flame. So words like burn fat, tone look, retain muscle, people are gonna come. You look somewhat credible, you put a whole bunch of research that nobody reads, unless you're a crazy person like me. Nobody reads the research, so people are gonna buy. Okay, by the way, on the topic of retaining muscle, Charlotte is 100% wrong. Charlotte is 100% wrong. Ketones are not muscle sparing. Ketones don't, this product in particular does not retain muscle. Okay, technically, any food that provides energy is muscle sparing because it gives you the energy, so you don't catabolize muscle, you don't burn muscle. Okay, any food that gives you energy. So you know what is truly muscle sparing? Strength training and protein. So we get energy from carbs, fats and protein. If you Google hard enough, you will see that carbs are muscle sparing, fats are muscle sparing, protein is muscle sparing. All of them are muscle sparing. What the hell does it mean? Retain muscle. If you actually know how muscle come about and how you build muscle, you know that strength training is something that cannot be discounted. And same thing with calories, like how they dance around the idea of calories and how they keep avoiding the word of strength training. They don't say that, hey, this encourage you need to do it with strength training to get results, because that's what people don't want to hear. Like, dude, I do this kind of thing, so I know. I'm not saying it's your fault. I'm just saying that it is what it is, and these are the facts that I'm giving you guys. Okay, so here's the bottom line. A ketogenic diet has many benefits. Specifically, in my opinion, the biggest one is insulin sensitivity. So if you are diabetic, a keto diet may really help you improve that insulin sensitivity, because it is sort of resetting your sugar system, like resetting your insulin system, so you don't, especially type 2 diabetes, sorry, not type 1, type 2, so the one that is induced by too much sugar in the first place. Cutting out the sugar does really help. In fact, it could be the only way to go. Okay, but then again, it is not like a weight loss tool for the general population. Then second thing, there's a difference between keto diet and the product they're selling. There are two different things. So why are you bringing up research on keto diets and selling a different product? In fact, you keep claiming that the research, it should not be accurate or accurate representation of the product you're selling. Then why the research? So long story short, where is the evidence of this product you're selling? Specific product, there is none. There is no evidence that I can find. If I'm wrong, let me know immediately. There is no specific evidence that conclusively proves that this one product works the way they claim. Works in terms of burning fat. Show me one paper of your product burning fat. Losing fat off a graph because of some results don't count, by the way. So the effects are, it's a deficit. It's a deficit. In order to prove that your product works, this product works, you need to prove it something like that. You need the independent testing of this product in a randomized, double-blinded study. Like, double-blinded study, and the methodology has to be robust enough such that it can be peer-reviewed. And then the context of that has to be without a deficit. Because you claim that this product burn fat, right? But you burn fat when you're in the deficit. So in order for you to prove that this product works, you must have both groups, the control and the... what's the other one? The control and the test subject. Okay? Both must not have a deficit. Then you can prove the product works, if it can be done. Like, you guys have plenty of money. I saw the revenue is like hundreds of millions. Like, if you really want to show that this product can work the way you claim in terms of burning fat, why not make one study like that? Here's my thought. I don't think it works. And it cannot work. Ketones are an energy source. I'm going in circles right now. But you get my point. It doesn't work in terms of burning fat. It could help other conditions, but it doesn't burn fat. And Silver Ang and Charlotte, they don't know what they're selling. If you're claiming it burns fat and retain muscle, you clearly don't know what you're selling. Okay, to end off this very long episode, okay, so basically PRUVIT is a huge company which I believe is trying to do a lot of good. Okay, like, yeah, so back to whether the product really works or not. It may work in other aspects, but I can tell you with 100% certainty, or at least 98%, I'm 98% sure, on the off chance that I'm totally wrong about thermodynamics and calories, 98% sure, okay, that this product does not burn fat. It is like saying this special bread I'm making burns fat. Like, it is a fuel. Ketone, you are eating 45 calories. How can you burn fat? You cannot. Okay, I hope this very long video clears up a lot of... I forget what I said in the start of the video already. I hope this video clears up basically all the questions about PRUVIT and keto diet, and basically a response to those that Silver Ang and Charlotte. Okay, and by now, if you have watched the entirety of this video, I'm sure you're watching, like, you should know where exactly you were wrong. So it's the claims of fat loss that is wrong. And I believe that maybe you guys are genuinely trying to help people, but you naming me and telling me about my PT and how you don't like PT is uncalled for. And don't tell me to be respectful to research that isn't research. So know what you're talking about, and don't call me silly for not doing my homework. Do your homework. You are the one selling the product. I'm not selling the product. I don't need to know so much about the product. You are the one that's selling. So if you're claiming it burns fat, you better back that up when you can't. Right? Okay, so that's all I have for you today. And please do remember to subscribe and like this video. And yeah, do remember to check out my highlight as well as the previous keto video. Okay, thank you so much. Buy me a coffee if you like my content. Thank you so much.